Welcome to my shop. My name is Steve. This is part 4 of the continuing series on the Bowfront jewelry box redo. In this episode, I'm going to show you how I build these thin wall drawer dividers. This is for the middle drawer, and this is for the bottom drawer. In a previous video, I demonstrated a method of using the table saw to basically do half flat joints to cross join these drawer dividers, and that worked pretty well. But the scale of the jewelry box versus the thickness of this, it just looked a little clunky, and so I decided to make these much thinner. This was done with the thickness of the saw kerf, which in my case is 3.2 millimeters or 1/8 of an inch. This I made 2.3 millimeters thick, and I don't know whether the camera will pick this up, but there is a significant difference in thickness visually. Not sure how, there you go. You can see how that goes. This looks a lot thicker, but I really like these thin walls. You don't want to get them too thin because they kind of get too flexible. So I chose 2.3 millimeters thickness on this, and I like the results. So I'm going to share with you how I did that. So let's get to the build. The hand plane, remove any milli marks, make sure I just have a good flat reference surface, and get a continuous shaving all the way across. And that's there. I'll get the other side, and I'm going to resaw these down the middle eventually. And now I'm going to use the Fritz and Franz jig to rip these to 20 millimeters, and I'll go just over 20 millimeters. I'm at the bandsaw now, and I'm going to resaw these down the middle, and I'm just not going to worry about the final thickness now. I just want to split them down the middle. Got pieces that are 2.34 millimeters, and I think what I'm going to do is use this Bridge City adjustable depth stop block plane to trim these to final width. And I've been playing around with this plane a bit, trying to figure out exactly the best way to do it. And I think I'm going to use this melamine particle board core board. Probably make that tape a little longer than I need to. And I'm just going to use some double-sided tape. And what I'm going to do is hand plane this to the final thickness. And I'll say that this plane is not what I'd call the most ergonomically designed plane there is, but I'm going to adjust the throat, close it up some. And I like to use these weightlifter gloves, or at least on my right hand, because I find that these back pieces of the depth stops tend to rub raw on the palm of my hand. So now let's see where I am. Maybe not quite there yet. Give me a putty knife here. Okay, I'm 2.28. Let's go with that. This thin material, it's really hard to tell where the grain direction is. So let's do this again. It's a nice surface. All I'm doing is making sure the ends are square. And I think the best way to do this is just to mark this, because I want this the exact width of the drawer so that I get a nice friction fit. And I took a scalpel there. Mistakenly, I probably should have used this marking knife. And I'm just putting a little mark where I need to make the cut. And then I'll just line this up to the blade. And what I should have is a fit, nice snug fit front to back, and that's about right. That's what I want. Okay, now what I want to do is create some half laps on the ends. I'm just feeling that the corner of this is flush, and I think I'm there. So now that my stop block is set, I'm going to go ahead and cut the notches on each end of the short pieces. And I'll flip these end for end, and let me, here goes everything. Now, I could either go to the center, which I probably will do. I'll just go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that now. I'm going to use a feeler gauge here. 0.4. I can get a 0.4 millimeter feeler gauge in there, and it will hold the material. So if I want to go to this side of the blade, I know my material is 2.2 millimeters thick. 2.3 minus the kerf, 0.4, so I need 1.9. So I need to move this stop over 1.9 millimeters. Well, let's give it a try. Go ahead and let's just see how the kerf is. It's just a little tight. I'm thinking that'll be good. I'll make sure I'm tight. Okay. Now I'll do the end for end. So that's how these drawer dividers worked. I mean, I think they look pretty good. Obviously, I struggled some with the kerf size and getting that set up. Had to do some hand trimming because I didn't make the notches quite wide enough. But I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the third drawer yet. But I like the way this thinner stock looks much better than the 1/8 inch stock. But this you could do with power tools, and this one not so much.